going for a block, okay. Or is he just going for a low ground pylon? Low ground pylon, no block, okay. And what is Denver doing? Anyway, in the bottom left, playing for Team KAP. It is a French team whose name I am not certain with. It is the Red Zerg player from France. It's Denver.
It's Coca Authentique Pepite.
Oh, there's no chance. They're KAP then.
Yeah, and fun fact, he's actually not on that team. I don't know why Wikipedia has him listed as a member of that team. He's just like being sponsored by them for a little while, I believe, while he looks for a new full-time team. I don't know exactly what the story is, but somebody asked. They said, "Oh, Denver, I didn't know you joined KAP." And in one of the lobbies, he said, "No, I haven't joined KAP. I'm just
They're just a title sponsor."
Yeah, they're just helping him out.
Okay.
Okay. You know, close enough. I don't know how these team things work, but it's good that he's getting some help because he's a player who certainly deserves it after the dissolution of IXG. And Denver's opponent in the top right-hand side in the blue, representing Cascade Gaming and Germany, it is GunGFuBanDa.
Do you think he's named after Kung Fu Panda?
There's no chance that happens. That's not even remotely close.
No, you're right.
What,
I like those movies. Have you seen those movies?
I've never seen a Kung Fu Panda movie.
They're really good.
And this, I've heard that it's one of the most authentic expressions of, like, as far as Disney movies go, a very authentic expression of Chinese culture. Like, apparently they went way out of their way to get the takeout containers right and get the trash, like, from the noodle shop right, and all these little tiny things that the animators really worked hard to make sure it was. That's one of the reasons I guess it was so big in China. It was one of the first Disney films where the Chinese population in general kind of felt like it was truly representative of their culture, or at least that they got out of their way to make it Chinese.
So far in this game, everything is pretty standard. It was hatch gas pool, I believe, and then speed is going to start, and then we're going to go down to 1. And the guys are here for Denver. At the other side of the map, we're seeing Nexus go down. The wall will be finished probably pretty quickly. We are seeing a Twilight Council. Is he really going to go Glaive Adepts off of this? I really think if you go Glaive Adepts, starting with a block is better. But it does look like GunGFu's got something in mind. We'll see if a Robo goes down. Or if he's just going to go maybe Blink or Charge, which you've been seeing in this tournament.
You know, we've seen it all in this tournament, and that's one of the things I really love about about those Twilight Council openers, is that it gives the Protoss players such freedom. You know, if you want to go Glaive to Depths and put down 6 more gateways and just go nuts, great. If you want to get a Robo down a little bit late and then get a DT Shrine or a Dark Shrine after this, go nuts. There's so many options that even if this is scouted, which it has not yet been, by the way, Denver, with this Overlord in a very unusual scouting position on the top side here, and his other Overlord going to get poked out. He's not going to scout this, but even if it does get scouted, you've got tons of options.
Yeah, it is going to be Glaives. As soon as we saw that Robo at that time, it's very much what you expect here. We did see someone attempt to go Charge, and it didn't work out particularly. It was against Raynor, and it was... Who did Raynor beat on his birthday?
Man, I have no idea.
I honestly couldn't even tell you. It was Art, I believe. And it didn't work out, so Glaives is really what you expect when you see this. Now, as you said, our Zerg player hasn't scouted. He's had a hard time of scouting. He has a couple of spotterlings just hanging around the map here, just trying to make sure that if a Prism moves out, he sees it and can prepare. Has he picked up a Roach Warren yet? No. Okay, so he's going to want to get that pretty damn quick, because it's very difficult to hold without Roaches. There we go.
Yeah. I was about to say the Glaive Depths is halfway done. That's more than time to put down that Roach Warren. I do love, you know, so many Zerg players now. It's almost become standard in the last couple of months to have these Zerglings patrolling around the 2 possible spots where the War Prism is going to come out, and it's so smart because we can see Denver's going to catch that War Prism coming across. I believe he spotted it, and he should now know the timing of this push. If he doesn't know that it's Glaive to Depths, he at least knows that there's something coming his way.
Yeah, definitely, and he will assume it's Glaive Adepts as well.
Yeah.
Now he definitely knows as he catches a good eyeful of those Adepts moving across the map, and he can start to prepare by making a fair few Roaches. The Roach Warren was late though. That means these Glaive Adepts are going to get in. It has forced a Spine at the 3rd, which is something you never want. Only 2 Roaches in the production tab as well. These Glaive Adepts have cancelled that initial shade and are now just going to kite backwards and forwards. A decent defense from Denver. Maybe GunGFu being a little bit too passive as of this second.
This seems to be a complaint that we as casters have had a lot this tournament about glaive adept attacks, where the players seem to be holding back a little bit more than we expect them to. And then I feel like as soon as I say, oh, he was too passive, he made a big mistake, he should have gone in, then they actually do finish his shade 3 or 4 shade cycles later, and it's just destroys their opponent. So I feel like the players are getting better and better at holding back and waiting until they've got critical mass, waiting until they can force a mistake out of their opponent. But so far, Denver holding really strong, rotating the roaches around, has those queens ready to go. And adding on, wow, adding on 4 more roaches, actually. This seems like an awful lot of roaches just to hold a glaive adept attack.
Yeah, the counter-attack here, though, for Denver is incredible. He's certainly going to get the pylon and the cancel on the Nexus. That's a lot of money right there. 200 minerals, and you almost managed to get in, too. And the glaive adept so far, there's been only 1 worker killed, and it was Denver that killed it. So, okay, now we're going to see some magic.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about, right? The first couple of glaive adept attacks don't have to do amazing, but immediately 1 missed shade there. Denver out of position for a split second, and GunGfu is going to get 20 drone kills in the 3rd and the natural. He's going to finish. Oh, he's going to cancel that shade here, moving all his adepts to the natural, and should be able to go on in to the main base here. I love that he even sniped that spore crawler just in case there's a warp prism harassment later. All the roaches are getting on top, but they're going to finish the shade in the main, and the queens are a little bit late, forcing another drone pull from Denver here. Yikes, Grant.
That is so many dead workers. 26 have gone down. 3rd will be cancelled possibly again. There are a couple of adepts here, though, and the adepts with the sentry should be enough. He's going to force her to try and protect a couple of these units. Reinforcements will come in. The Nexus has to be cancelled. That's frustrating as we find so much damage. But there is no doubt in my mind right now that GunGfu is a very, very happy panda, or banda, as he moves into the later stage of the game. He's already got Immortals, he's getting Blink, he's got Sentries. Right now, he's in a good spot. He killed like 151 workers, or 26, and he's in a great place.
One of my friends a long time ago used to describe herself when she was in a good mood as a very happy panda, and that's all I can think of when you're like, he's gonna be a very happy panda today. I'm like, oh, he is.
Yeah, I think it's from South Park.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I always thought she was just being creative.
I can't tell the rest of the story, trust me, because it's super inappropriate.
I'm sure it's terrible.
Even for me.
That story just got much less cuter in my eyes. I love the observer here from GunGfu. Keep an eye on this, but he's had this observer out, of course, the entire game. Paired up with those adepts, he's able to trim back the middle creep of GunGfu, or of Denver rather, which was spreading across the middle of the map fairly well. I love this 1 health overseer, or the 1 health overlord turning into the overseer and becoming useful for the Zerg. Even dropped that changeling with the full scout on. Won't see anything surprising other than maybe the +1 coming out of that forge. But GunGfu dropping down 4 more gateways. And he's going to get a lot of pressure, I think, sometime soon. There should be an attack coming in the next 2 or 3 minutes for our Protoss player.
Yeah, I think he'll probably wait for +1 and move out with a bunch of Immortals, probably like 4 or 5 even. And all of these glaive adepts, and look to find some damage. He can then use the adepts as a counter-attacking or an economic attacking presence. Whilst he's establishing his 3rd, keeping his upgrades, Zealot legs on the way. He'll probably drop down a Robo Bay in the not too distant future as well, maybe within a couple of minutes. And right now what GunGfu needs to do, and it's the hardest stage of the game, I'd say, as a Protoss, is get the money to establish a 4th base whilst you're out on the map, because you need to have enough to defend your 3rd, you need to have enough to be aggressive and keep map presence, and you need to get the 4th itself. So it costs a good like 1,000 minerals to be able to establish a 4th base, because you need static defense on it.
Right.
And right now that's what GunGfu is trying to create enough pressure so that he can do in the future. Good force fields.
Yeah, really nice force fields. He did eat 1 corrosive bile there, and that means all the sentries are going to go down instantaneously. The warp prism is on the where the hell is that warp prism? Oh, it's way back behind the army. That's why. I was going to say the warp prism is out of position, but it's okay. He could reinforce from here. Now the observer's here to pin back that creep yet again. Man, Denver's just had the worst time connecting the creep on these bases. His creep spread this game has been just anemic despite his best efforts. Stalker's going to fight in the gap here, but they will blink away immediately. But this Ling run by from Denver looks pretty scary.
Is there any static defense added yet? Yes, there is 1 cannon, and is there a battery here? No. So that's something that will need to be added as probes are forced to fight. They do a very good job, and actually really none go down. I think maybe 1. None went down from the later stage of the game. So a great defense there from GunGfu. He's really impressing me in this game. He started +2. Zealot legs is close. He's getting that money up there now. And Denver is still stuck on lower tech units. He's still only got Roach Ravager against what is now, 4 Immortals, 19 Stalkers.
Yeah, I mean, 4 Immortals itself is pretty crazy. As long as the War Prism's here to defend, I love that there's some Ravagers in the backside. I think they were mispassed. I think they were mispassed, but they actually pulled the damage of one of those Immortals out from GunGFu, so Denver wasn't able to get the full brunt of the Immortal attack. More Ravagers coming out though, and Denver is going to go for it here, I guess. I don't know if this is advisable though, Grant.
No, I think Denver at this stage, he needs to try and get another base up. He is trying, but there are Glaver Depths already on it, and Glaver Depths now going to go into another mineral line and say goodbye to a few of those bad boys, because that number currently at 31 dead workers, it will only increase as this game continues. It looks like these will finally be picked up, but now GunGFu pushing across the map with the bulk of his army.
Yeah, retreating and going back home, a bit of an interesting choice. Maybe he's going to wait on +2 for this attack. Of course, we thought that for the previous attack, and he started it before +1 was finished. Stalkers blink onto creep here, and with the units in the main base here, these Adepts in the Warp Prism distracting the Queens and everything, those Stalkers trying to make it to the third base, but really this is just creating a lot of chaos as the Adepts get in, and 7 more drones go down before these Adepts are cleaned up, Grant. This is so much damage from GunGFu. Continuous damage.
Yeah. GunGFu in this game has now killed 37 workers. He has lost 2.
Wow.
He is in such a phenomenal spot economically. His supply is getting closer and closer to 200. He's now adding on the Templar Archives, adding on that Dark Shrine. Upgrades, he's about to take an advantage in about 15-20 seconds. And I think he'll be looking for a fight then. For now, just going to pick off... Ooh, going for a choke is so scary. Prism!
Ooh. Missed it by a
Misfire.
pixel. That was a very close, cute game. That Prism's got to be very careful here. Should be used to pick up those Immortals and keep them alive for as long as possible. Really nice force field there from GunGFu, actually. Just slowing down the retreat of Denver's army, funneling him through those choke points. Unfortunately, no Storm, no Archons yet. They are on the way, but it's going to be a very close game. Denver's army supply actually quite high. Shield battery overcharge going down for GunGFu. Grant, is he going to pull this off?
No, the Immortals can never die. Okay, the battery finally goes down, but the Immortals on the east side of this are just chunking through the army. He lost 1, but look how many Roaches and Ravagers he's going to kill. GunGFu up in supply for the first time really in this game, and GG, GunGFu takes game 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, it's always scary. That's one thing I love about StarCraft, man. It's always scary when a big Ravager Roach army is at your front door. A big Zerg army, really, of any stripe, is at your front door. And if you don't micro, they will just run over you. But an experienced player can read that situation and say, you know what, I got the Immortals, I got the Warp Prism. I'm going to be just fine. So my 2-0 prediction for Denver is actually out the window. GunGFu looking really strong in game number 1, Grant.
Yeah, GunGFu, I mean, Denver made some mistakes. His Roach Warren was definitely late, and that allowed him to take... He took 20 drones worth of damage by like the 5, maybe 6 minute mark. And that's not good. He wants to be doing a little bit better than that if he wants to play into this game. And from that, it was just non-stop damage. He could never find... His counter-attack never found the mark. It's one of those games where Denver made a couple of small mistakes, but it can certainly be fixed without too many adjustments to his play. And I'd expect to see a little bit more... a little bit more adjustments, a little bit safer play here from Denver now.
Yep. Poor Funka getting in just a little bit late there for the French cast, missing game 1 of Denver, and the French fans can't be happy that Denver's already behind.
Yeah, at least he missed out on that game.
Yes. Oh gosh. And he's gonna get a co-caster in here, so we may have a bit of a break here. But game 2 on Everdream, Grant. Another one of those old carryover maps from the previous map pool. I like Everdream. I'll be honest, Grant. I have no maps in the current map pool that I dislike. I feel like this map pool, very, very strong. And maybe it's just because after the last map pool with both Purity and Industry and Golden Wall was a bit too much. But I feel like with just Golden Wall and then a couple more standard maps, we got a really good set of brackets, a set of maps here in the current map pool.
I'm talking French with Funka, but I don't speak French, so I'm faking it till I make it.
Nice, nice. If Grant is your co-caster, then we have at least one person on stream that can speak proper English. God damn. Trados? That's cold.
Trados, I was so nice to him a minute ago.
I think that's a dig on the French.
Oh no, actually, yeah, it is
a dig on the French casters.
Yeah.
That took me that was like Bilbo's speech at his 11th birthday party, where he likes less than half of you half as well as you deserve. And I'm like trying to figure out in my head who he's insulting there, because I know it's somebody, I just don't know who it is. Well, our players, I think, are ready to go now in game 2.
Just war in the chat.
Jeez, this is going nuts. Grant, what does Denver need to do to take game 2 to draw this series even?
Denver will either look to play a little bit more aggressive this game on Everdream, or I imagine he will just fall back on his instincts and play safer against what happened in the first game. Basically, he just cannot let himself take 20 drone damage at the 5-6 minute mark. You just can't do it. It's so hard to play back from that point. You can see that everything he had was 20 drones less than what it could have been. So you know that's so many less roaches. That's so many. The upgrades being later, everything just goes to pot in that scenario. But GunGFu, I can't fault his play. He was great.
Yeah, absolutely. He definitely carried through. Again, one of those great early game plays, and then through the mid game, and even into we got to the late mid game there maybe. He was doing just great. So. Excited to see if they can lock horns again. As you said, this is probably our closest match of the day, so we better enjoy the crap out of it, Grant, because we may have some beatings coming down the line later. Well, let's introduce our players here. Spawning in the top right-hand side of Everdream LE, our red Zerg player, currently sponsored by the French team KAP. It is Denver.
And his opponent on the bottom left-hand side, playing for Cascade Gaming, he is the blue Protoss player from Germany. It's GunGFuBanDa. Let's get ready to rumble.
Oh, Grant, you can't say that on stream. Grant,
oh, no.
Grant, DreamHack is going to get sued for millions of dollars now. For those of you not in the entertainment biz, that famous phrase is like trademarked, and the owner of the trademark is hugely litigious about its use, apparently.
Yeah, he's not watching, let's be honest.
Oh yeah, my favorite subversion of that ever was I heard somebody go, "Let's get ready to have fun in a way that's not part of a trademarked phrase." Yeah, this guy knows what's up. We got a hatch gas pool out for Denver. Standard play so far. GunGFu working on walling off that natural gas. Looks like a Nexus first, actually. No, Cybercore and then Nexus. I wasn't paying too much attention. I was too busy making fun of trademarked wrestling phrases. But it looks to be standard builds either way for both players. Second pylon in the main base of GunGFu here. No proxies, and he's just keeping a probe here to keep an eye on whatever Denver's up to.
Yeah, he wants to know what time the third is going down, and also make sure that the drone does head over to take a third, possibly block it if it happens. Usually the 2 lings push that away. We're seeing 4 lings here, which is, a very normal opening. Double queens, and we'll see the third at about the 2-minute 40 mark go down as that drone is making his way downtown now. On the Protoss side, Adept into Stalker to push away any Overlords. Overlord coming in very early.
Yeah.
Won't see anything.
Go ahead, Grant, sorry.
It can force the tech to be put down on the low ground because you do want to hide it, and then it's easier to scout later. But I think he's just... Yeah, okay. Another gateway. That's a quick third gate. Twilight?
Probably. Ooh. It's hard to tell. With this Overlord in, it's so funny that Denver moved the Overlord in so early this game. Normally, Overlord scouting timing is like 4 minutes, right? Or 3.5, depending on what you're doing. And like, he moved it in here in about 2.5 minutes. Just to poke around that main base, and it will get pushed away. So maybe it slowed GunGFu down just a little bit, but I don't think so. 3 gates before Tier 2 tech is a really strong push, or a really strong statement out of GunGFu.
Yeah, I think GunGFu is probably going to pile on some aggression in this game. He still hasn't teched yet. He may just be getting 3 gates to take a very quick third. Okay, it is going to be Stargate. So it is going to be Stargate play and double Stargate.
What the... What? 3 gates into double Stargate? Grant, I don't know that I've ever seen this before.
No, me neither. This is, well, it's cool. He's definitely faked that he was going to do something else, and we can see the roach roaring coming down now, just in case the Twilight did go down and wasn't seen. So what Denver's going to do is he's going to go, oh, I'm doing the same thing again. This 3 gateways is going to be making loads of adepts, and he's going to kill me, and my roach roar was late, so I'll make one, and I'll make 9 roaches. And then like 6 phoenixes fly in, and you have no mineral line. He's even been making adepts out of the gateways pretty continuously, and is continuing to do so in hopes to throw off his opponent. And now phoenixes are just going to stay at home. They're just going to hide until he's got like a good amount, probably 6 or 8, I would guess. And then he goes in and he decimates a mineral line.
100% Denver thinks this is a Glaive Adept all in, right? He's got spores down. Why does he have 3 spores down? For the DT Shrine, or the Dark Shrine, just in case it's behind this?
Possibly, or just to push away prisms. He may also just know that this is, it is standard sport timing. It's about 4:30. You don't really lose anything just by making 3 spores, of course. A couple of drones that you maybe don't want to lose. But he doesn't need to cut corners because he hasn't taken damage, so he is going to play safe. It's an important game for him to advance in the top 2 positions, and we can see that Phoenix count is rising. Where's Rotterdam?
He's sponsoring other players right now. Unfortunately, it's so funny. I've seen Goblin playing now for Team Roddy, and he went Mass Phoenix in 2 of his games yesterday or something.
He loves it.
That's so good. Well, a bunch of links flooding in here. These Phoenix are going to be able to stay secret and stay safe, unlike the ring in the Shire. And I don't think these links are getting anywhere. Here we go. Okay, he is going to show the Phoenix now. I guess just a stunt on Denver. And Denver's going to be very happy that he's got these spore crawlers down. But Glaive to Depths into the natural. There's nothing here. The Roach is slightly out of position.
Yeah, and it really doesn't matter if you have spores against this many Phoenixes. If you've watched a Rotterdam stream, then you know Phoenixes just fly in. They just do as much damage as they possibly can. This is so cool. This is such a good push. He's getting +1 air weapons too. A few Lings getting in. That's annoying here because he doesn't want to be losing drones. He's killed so many workers again. Denver, I said the one thing you needed to do was not lose drones, and he has lost another 15. That number could still increase. And that was like no Phoenixes have died. There's still 8 Phoenixes flying around the map, so that means overlords all die. Drones, queens, it's a very nice, juicy target to take down queens. There's a lot of roaches coming across the map though, and he is going to start trying to narrow that number down, and we'll see a couple of stalkers at home as well. Yeah. This isn't going to be a threat, and actually GunGFu's put himself in a phenomenal position right now.
I can't believe this is working great. This is disgusting. We're going to see it all over the ladder for the next 2 weeks. Obviously, these Phoenix don't want to be picking off roaches. Ideally, they're harvesting queens. They're picking off drones. They're doing anything other than roaches because roaches are not the easiest units to kill in the air with Phoenix. But thinning down that number of roaches and getting 3 kills in exchange for graviton beam energy, that is not a trade that GunGFu is going to complain too loudly about. At 7 minutes in, Denver's still on 3 bases. GunGFu on 3 bases. GunGFu ahead on workers. Now ahead in army supply after picking off 11 roaches with those Phoenix, Grant. Everything's coming up GunGFu right now.
And once +1 finishes, you take the fight against the queens much easier. You need 4 Phoenixes to kill a queen. 4 Phoenixes firing, I believe. It might be 3 Phoenixes. With +1, obviously, that becomes much easier, and you can pick up a couple of queens, and the amount of look how quick these queens will go down. That's before +1. As +1 finishes, he can decimate them, which will then stunt the economy of his opponent. It will stunt the creep spread, and we see a double robo transition. So that's exactly the plan here. This is beautiful play here from GunGFu so far in this game.
GunGFu right now, to me, feels like the guy who goes to the casino and he's at the roulette wheel and he's like, $1 million on red 33. And the guys are like, I'm sorry, sir, you can't do that. And he's like, no, trust me, $1 million on red 33. And then it comes up red 33. And then he's like, okay, I got $2 million now. $2 million on black 14. And they're like, sir, please. And he's like, no, trust me. And it just keeps happening. Double Stargate into double Robo. This is insane from GunGFu. He's insane. I mean, look at the army supply right now. Look at the army supply, Grant.
The scary thing is how many overlords have already died. He's killed 6. That number is only to continue. He has killed 7 queens. Look how many overlords are here. When you have this many Phoenixes, you just kite around the spore crawlers. This is gross. This is actually gross at this point.
Yeah, it's that critical mass of Phoenix that we see so many times in the mass Phoenix builds where when you've got 10 Phoenix, who cares, man? Eat a bunch of damage from a spore crawler. Spore crawlers are relatively slow. Eat a bunch of damage from it, then just micro it back and keep attacking with the other 9. Nobody cares. Least of all, GunGFuBanDa, and now he's ahead on workers, almost exactly twice the army supply of his opponent. We do see Hydras coming out from Denver, but it's only 9, and there are a lot of lifts available for GunGFu, and he's going into Immortals behind this.
Yep, he's getting Immortal Charge Zealot behind this with a few Stalkers, a few Sentries. He's just building everything he needs to counter the counter. And if you could do me a favor for the lovely people on stream, Creighton Olsen, open up the Resources Lost tab.
Ooh, ouch. Ouch.
Yep.
Certain
it's
players
huge.
don't look. Don't look at that, because yikes.
Yeah, this is NFSZ. Certain. This 4th base now going to be cancelled. The 4th base of the Protoss player is going to be quicker than the 4th base of the Zerg player. Finally, I think that was the first Phoenix death, no, the second. And Phoenixes do very much scale on number, but he doesn't need to replace them at this point. They have more than served their purpose. I'm sure Rotterdam's having a lovely day.
Yeah, no, he definitely is. I don't think he's casting the A stream today, so he's just watching this drinking a cold beer in one hand, and I don't know anything about Rotterdam. Shit-talking chat somewhere. Not on this Twitch chat, but somewhere else. He's setting people straight.
Definitely. He'll be with Rhonda and Rico. Shout out to those guys.
Wow, okay.
You don't know. That's his brother's dogs.
Sure,
the best.
Okay.
That's where he'll be, I guarantee it. So for now, this game, yep, Charge finishing up, Storm on the way, Archon's on the way, more gateways. There's a Spire coming in for Denver, but it is very, very late. I mean, Denver's finally up in the drone count, but it is... his army supply is pitiful. His upgrades are grim. +1 air and +1 melee to just +1 ranged. It's not that bad.
It's still not ideal, though. And with Storm coming down with, what's the Immortal count up to now? 10 Immortals going to be on the field soon. And, you know, it would take a miracle. I'll tell you what is pretty good against Immortals, though, Grant. Mutalisks.
Hydrates? Mutalisks are pretty good, but when there's this many Phoenix with +1 in the sky, they're really not that great. Corruptors is a smarter tool here.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to see. There's so many drones going down. 37 drones have died this game. GunGFu has been a master in the series of economic damage. He did it in game 1 and he won the game. He did it in game 2 and he's in a great position. Oh, look at all those overlords scoring. Get him, get him, get him.
They're ambling back safely. The Corruptors have popped out now. I think 8 Corruptors on the field now for GunGFu, and he should be able to take this fight with the Hydras and the Corruptors here. These Phoenix are going to be locked down, lifting some of these drones up. He's going to lose yet another Phoenix, but I think at this point, Denver's GunGFu is probably okay to trade away some of these Phoenix, just keeping GunGFu at home. Now he's missing a Warp Prism from this fight, which is really crucial. He's going to lose a lot here if he's not careful. Good initial storm though, Grant.
Yeah, there's plenty of storms available. Oh, let us see the fight, Denver. GunGFu takes a